YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my fitness journey. I took you guys through my morning. I've worked out, I got my groceries. Now I can sit down and chit chat. My hair is just, I'm at my wit's end with it. Not at my Britney Spears point yet. My workout, I just did a spin workout. I think I'm going to lift weights a little bit later today. Maybe just do like a garage workout. It's actually nice out. It got really cold for a few days. And so I just, if I'm being honest, I wasn't motivated to go outside and do a workout. But I got my cardio in and I'm feeling good. Babies, wanna go outside? While they're outside, I didn't get a chance to talk about this while I was doing my workout this morning, but this is the Nordic track bike. I'm getting a ton of questions over what bike it is. It is the S22i, so this is the one that's a little more expensive. It has the workout screen, you can take classes, everything. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I usually just do steady state, but you can like choose your classes. This is the workout that I did this morning. I burned about 400 calories. I have nothing bad to say about this bike. It's just been my favorite thing during quarantine. My hair feels like it's 50 shades of blonde right now. You win some, you lose some. I'm waiting for the pups to go to the bathroom in the little front yard. How are you guys handling hair extensions? So any of you guys that have hair extensions, how are you handling it? You guys are so peppy, yeah. All right, let's go. Da-da-da-da. Boo! I'm actually going to take this party upstairs so I can talk to you guys about my fitness journey. All right, you guys, I am setting up this tripod because I am so excited to share all about my fitness journey with you guys. It has been quite a ride. In fact, most people don't even believe my fitness transformation when they see it. They don't think it's me. They're like, there's no way that's your before photo. There's no way that was you in high school. It was. And it has been the wildest ride of super high highs and super low lows. And I just want to throw this disclaimer out there that everything I am about to share with you is simply what worked for me. It's not advice. It's not a one size fits all. It's not what you should do. I would definitely consult with your doctor before you do anything on your fitness journey because this is just what worked for me. So I want to start by taking you guys all the way back to high school. I was an athlete in high school. I was just very athletic growing up. My sister was a top athlete in the state of Texas, and so I felt the need to like live up to that, and I was always very competitive with her. I have her to thank for pushing me to grow as an athlete. I've been weightlifting since I was 16. I played volleyball, I was a middle hitter, and then softball, ran track, and so I had power behind me. You know, my squat max in high school was 250 pounds. Definitely probably couldn't do that now because I just don't focus on pushing heavy weight for that purpose. So that was never the underlying issue. Along with that in high school, I ate whatever I wanted. I was like ride or die Sonic, heck yes to Golden Shake, give me a burger, give me fries, give me a milkshake. Starbucks Frappuccinos were my jam. I went all out every single day. And for the most part, I felt like I was getting away with it. But then I graduated high school and the whole freshman 15 thing is real. It's really real. And it hit me hard. Unfortunately, as most do, I carried those terrible eating habits with me into college and was continuing with burgers and fast food and just junk food. I remember there were days where like weeks, honestly, that I was living off Pop-Tarts, animal crackers, and sub sandwiches. Like, I mean, I miss those days if I'm being honest, but I didn't feel good. The turning point for me, and I'll never forget this day, I was getting ready for class and I was standing in front of my mirror in my dorm room and I realized that I was trying to hide behind clothes. I had low confidence, no confidence really, a low self-esteem, and just really insecure. I was trying to hide behind a bunch of baggy clothes. I never liked wearing anything form-fitting. I wish that I could say I knew what my weight was on that day that I had that pivotal moment and just realized I wanted to make a change, but I don't. Previous to me making healthy changes, I had a doctor's appointment. I weighed around 180, so if I had to guess, probably my heaviest was probably 185, just throwing that out there. So in this moment, I realized like I need to make a change. I want to feel better in my skin. I want to feel healthier. I want to glow. Like, you know, you see all these people around college campuses who are just confident, and I wanted that. I'll never forget when me and one of my girlfriends went to the rec center at college for the first time, and I walked in there, even with all my past of weightlifting and training and being an athlete, looking around and seeing all the people on the cardio machines and all the people on the weightlifting floor. It was just super overwhelming. So to anyone anyone watching this, my heart goes out to you if that's where you were. You know, obviously we're in quarantine right now, but before everything happened, if that was you and you were so intimidated to walk into a gym and so scared to even go out on the weight floor, I get it. Like, I've been there before. In that moment, that was the first time in my life that I was having to coach myself, train myself, you know, without 3 coaches pushing me, without a whole team behind me to encourage me to, you know, push harder, work harder. It was just me, and I felt like a little lost sheep in that gym, in that rec center. So I got on a treadmill because, you know, that's the easiest thing to do. And in my mind, I was looking out at the weight floor and I knew, like, Britt, you should be out there lifting weights. You know better. You know that's how you build your body. Like, that's how you lose weight. That's how you lose fat. You know these things. But I just couldn't implement them because I didn't have the support system around me that I was always used to. Along with trying to get to the rec center a little more regularly during this time, I started making healthier swaps with my diet. So instead of sub sandwiches, I would try to get a salad. If I got a burger, I would try to go without the fries, vice versa. I just made healthier decisions. And I'll never forget the morning that I was getting ready for my 8 a.m. class. I put my outfit on and I just realized that my clothes were fitting so differently. And that right there was like, if you've been there before, you know how good of a feeling that is. It doesn't even matter at that point what the number on the scale is. Like, you just feel good. And during that time while living on campus, I kind of just like yo-yoed back and forth. I would lose 5 pounds and then gain 2 back, and lose 3 and gain 1. And so it was just like this slow progression of slowly losing weight, slowly feeling better in my own skin. And then flash forward to the next semester, I ended up moving back home and commuting to school. And moving back home, that is kind of when things took a turn for the worst. I ended up buying a weight scale. First mistake. I got the weight scale and I just got hooked on seeing that number go down. It was a very unhealthy downward spiral that happened so fast. I ended up losing 45 pounds in a month and a half, and I was over exercising and under eating. I'm not going to go into the details of all of that because 1, that's a very touchy subject. It could trigger people, and 2, that is not what this video is about. It is part of my story, so I do have to own it, and it did happen to me, but I'm not here to talk about that or discuss that. Unfortunately, because my schedule was so busy, it was very easy for me to mask it. I was never home. I was always either at school or work, and so my family didn't see what was happening. I remember how toxic it was. I would work out any time of the day I had a chance. Like, if I had 30 minutes in between work and school, I was working out somewhere at the track, running outside, doing a workout inside, like whatever it took. The craziest part about that is I remember I would stand in front of a mirror and I would still see my heaviest self. I was 110 pounds soaking wet. I was skin and bone, and there was nothing to me, and it was just a very, very unhealthy place to be. For reference, I'm 5'9", so 110 pounds is extremely underweight. My hair was falling out, and I've talked about that, and that's why I actually wear hair extensions. It's just something that's never been the same ever since then, and it's just a very frustrating thing because I do realize that that was self-inflicted, and now even still 8 years later, I'm having to handle the consequences. I'm so grateful for the people that were in my life at that time who helped me move past that phase and get out of that. Right after my eating disorder, I was introduced to competing, and looking back, that was also one of the stupidest things I could have done. I now realize that I was basically masking my eating disorder and slapping the word competing over it. So I got thrown into that. I ended up placing 6th at my first show, and then I dealt with the post-comp rebound, and that alone was the biggest mind mess up that I've ever faced in my entire life. Going into my first show, I ended up placing 6th place, second call outs out of about 40 girls. So I was very, very happy with how I did. And I'll never forget walking off that stage, and my parents and family were backstage waiting for me, and they were holding my jug of water, and all I could ask for was I want water. At that point, my body was so just like depleted of sodium, depleted of water. I was low carb and just carved up the night before. It was just screaming at me, and that's the best way I can put it. If you've ever competed and you've ever been through peak weeks, they're hard, they're brutal, they're tough. I'll never forget like my mom and dad standing there, and they wanted to take me to dinner, and all I could ask for was like, I need water. And I just sat there and I like chugged water. We went to dinner. I got all my water that I possibly could have wanted. And the next morning I woke up and my body had just held on to everything. Anyone who has competed will probably tell you the same thing, in a sense that most people don't warn you about post-comp rebound. What you see on stage is not maintainable. Like, that would not have been healthy for me to maintain. I wasn't drinking water. The human body cannot function without water. We're basically cucumbers. Post-comp was just traumatizing. I remember walking in the bathroom the next morning after my show, after I had had dinner, and my body literally retained everything. It looked like a different body. That's the best way to put it. It was completely traumatizing, especially being that no one warned me about that. My body was so depleted of electrolytes, of water, of nutrients, of carbs, that it basically went into survival mode. Everything that I was putting into it, it was holding on to in case I went back into starvation. So stepping off the stage, going out for post-comp celebration, and then going straight into my off season, I fell into a pattern of binge eating, which most competitors deal with this, even if they don't come out and say it. I am very type A. I love having routine. I thrive with structure, but when there's no goal, I crumble. I went from having this end date, getting on stage, this is my goal, this is what my eyes are locked and focused on, to you're going into your off season, you've got free reign now. Super strict, rigid diet that was easy to follow because it was very routine, to you can eat whatever you want in small bits and pieces. But there was no small portions for me. I went straight into binge eating and I didn't know how to control it. Now this is another disclaimer. If you are struggling with that, I would highly advise you get help from a professional, whether that's a therapist or a doctor. Within the first week of being done with competing and going into off season, I put on about 25 pounds. It was just unreal. It felt like such an out-of-body experience. I went from this super lean, shredded athlete to off-season body, and there's nothing wrong with that, but to go from this to that so drastically fast, very, very difficult for your mind to handle and comprehend. Post-comp blues are a real thing. I didn't have any motivation to train or work out anymore because I didn't feel like I was myself, and I had no control over my diet. I basically felt like I was right back to square one. So, you know, like in college, I was my heaviest and I did all this work and all this effort to get down to where I was, and to go right back in just a matter of a week was devastating. The next 2 years were kind of a constant up and down, trying to find my balance. I was trying to understand, how can this be a lifestyle? How can I make this maintainable? I still had a super strict and rigid diet, and because of that, it would cause me to have moments of binging. Losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. It was honestly the most exhausting 2 years on a fitness journey that I ever could have imagined. And right before prepping for my very last show, I remember I was introduced to flexible dieting, and it changed the game completely. I'm so grateful and so thankful that my coach for that show introduced me to it when he did. All of a sudden, I was diving into books about nutrition and micronutrients and macronutrients and how each one affects the body differently. And it changed the game. I went from this super strict, rigid, cookie cutter meal plan to being able to eat certain things in certain quantities that I truly enjoyed and loved. Because of flexible dieting and my coach at that time, who just like threw a game-changing strategy in my path, I walked on stage at my last show, a little lean bean carb eating machine with no rebound. I did not rebound. And that was solely because all throughout that prep, I wasn't depriving myself. I wasn't doing low carb. I wasn't doing low fat. Certain things here and there were adjusted, yes, but I was feeding my body and training adequately. There were days where I would have a donut post-workout, or go out for froyo, or get sushi, or enjoy a piece of pizza. Like, it was such a balanced and freeing approach. Leading up to that show and that prep, I had reverse dieted my body. So basically what reverse dieting is where you increase your macronutrients slowly to build your body. You're trying to rev your metabolism up. A train needs coal to function. I don't know if trains these days need coal to function, but that's besides the point. A train needs coal to move, and the more coal you put in, the more it goes, the more it goes, the more it goes. Same with the human body. You're slowly adding in carbohydrates and fats and proteins to build and build and build and rev that metabolism and fuel it like an athlete needs. This is simply so that when you do go into a cut and you start trying to lose body fat, you don't have to go down into the 1200 calorie range. Like, that's not healthy. And because of the hard work that I put in the off season, building my metabolism with reverse dieting, and then prepping the correct way with flexible dieting, I walked on stage, did my little thing, and walked off super confident and no rebound. Like, that was the most freeing thing. That day, I realized that I wanted to step down from competing. I'm not saying that I might not ever do it again in the future, but in this stage of life, it just isn't for me, and it wasn't for me anymore. And so I stepped down from it, deciding to find that balance in life. I continued flexible dieting throughout the next 2 years. At some point along there, I made the change and became plant-based, which also is just a game changer. And so I just really used those next 2 years to find that balance outside of competing, outside of having a strict goal at the end of something. And it's been such a beautiful journey knowing that like I can take days off from the gym, I can step back from my workout routine for a week or so, I can travel, I can do this and that and still have a healthy lifestyle. It's been such a wild journey of super high highs and super low lows. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been heavier and I've been underweight. And so to be able to find my happy ground in the middle is such a beautiful thing. And I just want to remind anyone who's watching this, I just want to encourage you to find what works for you. Find what you love. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach on anything. The reason I had those seasons of rebound and binging and not being happy in my own skin was because I wasn't doing what I loved. I was trying to do what everyone else was doing in the competition world. I was trying to do what other people were telling me to do, and it wasn't for me. Everything fell into place when I found flexible dieting, when I stopped restricting myself, and when I stopped pushing myself into unhealthy territories. I'm sure I left some things out, but it's just been such an incredible journey. I hope that some of this helps you guys out and maybe even helps you from making the same mistakes that I did. I've been maintaining my current physique for about 3 or 4 years now, and honestly, I've never been so happy. It's just such a freeing thing to be able to go eat out at restaurants and travel and do all these things that I used to be so scared of doing because I wanted such control. Everything fell into place when I just let go and let my body find its equilibrium. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping in on my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys would like to see an entire week of workouts at home during quarantine. That might be kind of fun to film. As always, thank you so much for stopping in on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye!